I'm gonna continue on from the last video on what I was talking about. I was talking about you know, with AI and whatnot, but when you really look at it from the root core of things, how I said man falls in love with his creation, your mind made real your physicality, your manifestation, and it can only do this through creation. So it would have to experience itself through you, the one observing this video, or you, or from my perspective, me speaking on camera. So when you look, for example, at consciousness, you have to experience in creation in space and time through many different versions of forms of yourself. It all started with the whole Adam and Eve, what they're talking about. I mentioned how there's space between two people, but you would also have to have an intelligent conversation or with another smart, intelligent being. It's the only way you can actually exist in this creation. Everything is bad, right? Everything is what we would consider bad. There is no bad and good. I'm just using this, you know, bastardized, narrow language. I have to use this word just to kind of put things into context. But you basically are that ultimate good. You're the light being. This is a dark world. The sun is a manifestation of what you are. So that sun is basically showing you that that's what you are, the giver of all light and life force. You know how people say, oh, that person looks like they're all full of life, and you could tell when somebody just looks dead already, right? See, there's a big difference that where I've mentioned in videos before where I said that people feel like they always have to do something, right? And suppose you were about to die, right? And you didn't get to finish what you felt you were supposed to finish. Would you feel like you were satisfied? But then again, there's that little fine line where when you feel like you have nothing to do, you're actually closer to death as well. And I'm talking about a physical death. This is why people who retire and they just stay home and do nothing, they're more prone to dying quicker than if they actually were moving around having work to do. This is why people who care for others in a way such as, like, you know, taking responsibility to care for certain things, they live longer. This is why you'll see videos and certain things that show you studies that people who take care of cats, the cats are good for your heart, but it's because you're taking care of these animals. So you're giving your cells a reason to live. You know, do you have a reason to thrive? See, the whole thing is, a disease is poverty, is a disease. Negativity is a disease. These things are just only there because you're associating with them, or you're vibing to that because you forgot what you are. You're actually beyond and above those things. But when you're participating in the realm of creation, for you to have an experience, you would have to associate or become one of these things, which is either what we would consider favorable or unfavorable experiences. But you are none of these things. But you are also the generator, operator, and destroyer. And you give your cells, you see, your cells are sentient. Your cells are sentient, but the perception is all determined. I mean, not the perception, the expression or the life, let's say, or the vitality of these cells is determined by your perception about life. So basically, you see the world for how you are. And a lot of the times when you buy into a lot of the things that you're told in this realm, then this is where you start to become a space cadet. You're outside of yourself because you bought into the propaganda that they're feeding you in the media. You see, it all starts from a virus, mind the viruses. So you're implanted a mind virus. They use your superpower of belief against you, because the only way that anything or anybody could kill you is you killing yourself through belief. Your mind makes real whatever it is that you put your energy and belief into. It'll make it real. So whenever you are told of a certain distorted piece of information and you buy into it and believe it, then this can actually be favorable or it can be destructive. It's just depending on what you bought into. You know, what did you buy into? What did you put your energy into? What mattered to you so much that it actually ends up materializing in your life? So there is no bad and good. We talk about how negative is categorized as concretely bad, but it is not. It is not, because we can say pain is bad, but pain, there's people who have fetishes for pain, and through pain you come out. If you're able to endure the pain and it didn't kill you, it made you stronger. It made you realize certain things about yourself, because it actually put you actually looking at the other side of yourself. You know what's funny? This cat makes me think a lot. This is Phoenix over here. This is Phoenix. And the thing about Phoenix is that if you was to see how this cat looked when I first saw him, first of all, I was even afraid to approach him because he was just so beat up and like crazy looking. I mean, I'm talking about scratches. Like, it looked like you could see the scratches. He just looked fucked up, right? Snot, blood everywhere. His hair was weird. It was just like real rough. He had these big jowls and everything. And he didn't want me to touch him. I didn't want to touch him either because he was kind of intimidating. You know what I'm saying? But through time, I wanted to help him out because he was really rough looking. And I got him neutered, and little by little, I put him back outside. I did the whole, trap, neuter, release. And I thought he was just going to go away. But he didn't go away. He actually ended up staying. Now, here's the thing, though. I look at it from the animal's perspective, right? You know how people say they go from rags to riches, right? And when you see people go from rags to riches, they could say, oh, I changed my habits. I changed my thinking. And now I went from this to that, right? But in this animal's life, right? In this animal's experience, he went from rags to literally riches because this cat eats a raw food diet. He sleeps in my pots. I mean, he lives like a millionaire out here. He's got all the space in the world to run and roam around, come back when he wants to, and just does his thing, right? Now, I want you to look at something. This is what I appreciate about my cats. If you see, my plants look beautiful, right? They don't touch any of my plants. My plants look so beautiful. My strawberries, my berries, my blueberries, they're just beautiful creatures. Look, they sleep in the pots like this. They just love, I guess the frequency of the plants. So they just lay there and just chill there. And I asked myself, I'm like, well, how did this cat, from its perspective, right? How did it go from that experience to the experience it has now? He came across me, right? And I can be considered God, right? Let's say I'm considered God. But the animal didn't think to come here. The animal didn't, manifest its reality like that. But what does it mean in actuality, right? In actuality, what I'm looking at, and this is why I mentioned that I'm observing my root chakra, in actuality, my animalistic nature, and how a lot of the times it doesn't even require thinking. But whenever you're looking at, for example, let's say, and this is a very thick cat. This is a big cat, by the way. Very, very thick cat. But I want you to look at something in particular. When we say that you're good, right? You notice how your body is always striving to maintain homeostasis. We can look at this of one or two ways. We can look at it in a way where if you consider this realm a prison planet, then it's basically working to keep you here. Now, if it was a prison planet and you somehow became sick or whatnot, and you happen to pass away, you kind of escaped the matrix, right? But in actuality, is this beneficial? Because I've mentioned that you are the body of Christ, and this realm is meant for you to endure the sins of the world. And when you look at it from this perspective, you're hold on, let me just get my phone's about to die, but I want to get the light on a little bit.